Okay, any comments thus far? Yeah, Ruth?
My understanding from the famous when Plato was talking about the souls, sort of how they were allotted to different sort of hierarchy of creatures on Earth. And so I'm trying to ask is that when you're talking about perceiving the good
yes.
and loving the wonder, would you then say that it's sort of a matter of fate, depending on which soul has entered our existence, that the degree to which we can...
No, don't say which soul has entered your existence. You are a soul that has a body, not a body that gets some alien soul.
But depending upon sort of what my soul was doing...
No, what you are, what you were.
But you talk about it as sort of entering the existence
Yeah.
of a philosopher, or entering, or
Yeah. Yeah, well, this is the way in which the recycling of souls, it's an odd word, isn't it, recycling of souls, the way in which it works, you see, it's a matter of reward and punishment. So that if you're a good gal in this life, you might make it as a philosopher in the next one, you see. Yeah, and there's no sense in which we all start at the same point in the pilgrimage. Because if on a scale of 1 to 10, you see, in a previous existence, you made it from 3 up to 4, okay, you are likely to get a much better start in the next life than if you started at 5 and sank down to 4. You see. Just because you both ended up at 4 doesn't necessarily mean that you start at par next time.
But what do you call, is that a concept of fate?
No, I wouldn't call it fate. Fate implies something blind. Remember back when we were talking about the Greek poets, Greek plays, so forth. There was a concept of fate as something blind, but it gradually gave place to a concept of cosmic justice. You see, and this in Plato is the concept of justice at work, not blind fate. You see.
I guess it was extraordinary when he was talking about the souls and which God they associated with when they're
Yeah.
in the heavenly existence.
Yeah.
And based on that, and it just was extraordinary sort of how a soul fell to have to be sort of encased in a body. And that.
Well, yeah, the notion of the soul falling in Plato could have two different senses. It could mean your moral decline, or it could mean simply the fact of being embodied and losing the freedoms that brings. Yeah. But no, this is part of the picture of cosmic justice. Let's see, Ryan.
I was trying to reconcile the two different uses of how he intermixes like philosopher and this eros for truth.
Yes.
They seem like somewhat contradictory statements, but both seem
Yeah.
to be positive in his philosophy.
Yeah. Well, if on the scale you're down here and have an eros for truth, it may seem to be a self-interested one. You see. By the time you get up here, it should be less self-interested and more a failure. It's not that eros as such is bad, you see, but rather that with the development of virtue, you delight in the good for its own sake. Get the difference between, and this is an Aristotelian distinction, between what is intrinsically good and what is instrumentally good. You see, the intrinsic good is something that is desired for its own sake. The instrumental good for the sake of something else. The notion of eros can be simply treating everything as instrumental. Can be, isn't necessarily, but it can. Whereas philia is not treating things as instrumental. Friendship treats one as a value for itself. He has a dialogue with the way the Lysis, which is specifically about friendship. And you might want to read it to get a contrast to the Symposium. In the Symposium, you get the two loves in contrast. In the early speeches, it's all eros of the lower sort, and then when Socrates makes his final speech, it's love of beauty itself, wisdom, so forth. But in the Lysis, he talks about what is friendship. You see, what is friendship, and love in that sense. And he speaks of the proper art of lovers, the proper activity of lovers, as dialectic. Dialectic, yeah, because friendship, as he conceives it, is a joint pursuit of wisdom, of the good, you see, for its own sake. That's what friendship is. Not desiring each other. Oh, that may be there. But the thing that makes it distinctly friendship, in his sense, is that you join together in the pursuit of wisdom, in the pursuit of the good. Sometime we're going to do a seminar on friendship. Aristotle has a wealth of material on friendship. It's a notion that these days we have, I think, trivialized. And as a result, we've missed an awful amount. All right, let's come to the last of these themes, the good life, where I'm including more of ethics, certainly his political thought, more about aesthetics. In fact, everything that contributes to what is his overarching concern, namely the improvement of the soul. And the soul is valued, is the focus, because it's eternal, the way the body isn't. It's imprisoned, it needs vast improvements, it needs liberating. The ideal for the soul in its pursuit of love for the good is to be like the good. To be like the good is to be like the form of the good. And because in some of his later writings he identifies the form of the good with God, to be like the good is to be like God. And there's one place in which he talks of the imitation of God, which is another phrase that's been caught up in the language of Christian spirituality. Thomas Kempis, medieval, wrote a kind of classic on the imitation of Christ. The imitation of God is Plato's theme. Now, how can this be? Well, obviously, the cultivation of the virtues. Virtues such as wisdom, courage, temperance, justice, and all the others. And remember that list of Platonic dialogues and lots of other virtues. What is a virtue? The term he uses is arete, which means simply a quality, an excellence. Quality, an excellence. In other words, to have virtue is to be good. Plato's is not primarily an ethic of making the right decisions, but of being a right kind of person. It's an ethic of virtue rather than an ethic of actions in its primary focus. Virtue is an excellence of the soul. The soul has virtue when, in its elements, those elements of the soul achieve their proper, natural function. You see? And that function becomes a habitual disposition of the soul. Temperance, courage, wisdom. Or if you're talking of other virtues, respect for others, so forth. And in some of his dialogues, he explores the question of what's the relationship between different virtues. Is this just a potpourri, like a bag of marbles? Or is there some sort of ordered unity among the virtues? You see? His response in the Republic is yes, that justice is the ordered unity of the virtues. And justice is achieved when the soul is ruled by reason, so on and so forth. What about the role of pleasure, the place of pleasure then in the good life? And Plato deals with this in two of his dialogues, the Gorgias, the Philebus, at least those two, Gorgias and the Philebus. And while he rejects the notion that pleasure is the highest good, he still sees pleasure as good, a good, but not the highest good. It's the appetitive, self-interested creature, always trying to gratify its own desires, that makes pleasure the highest good. That's what becomes known as hedonism. The highest end is hedony, pleasure. And Plato criticizes hedonism as a mistaken view of what is the good for humans. Humans are more than simply appetitive beings. And as a result, pleasure is not the highest good. The appetites are not the highest part of the human soul. So satisfying the appetites is not the highest good. Hedonism is a mistake. And he points out that pleasures are not all of them in any case good. There are good pleasures, there are bad pleasures. And inasmuch as we make moral judgments about different kinds of pleasures, it cannot be that pleasure itself is the good. There must be some good by which pleasure is judged. No, in moral psychology, the fact is that there are some higher, more enriching pleasures, the pleasures of contemplation, the pleasures of the life of the mind. The fact is that pleasure is a byproduct of higher activities, a byproduct of activity that caps off, that crowns the good life. It's sort of the icing on the cake, rather than the cake. It's a byproduct, rather than the end in itself. So that Plato has essentially the same view of the place of pleasure as you get, for instance, in the book of Ecclesiastes, where the wise man comments that whatever my heart desired, I kept back from it. It was all vanity, effect, vexation of spirit. There was no profit under the sun. You see? And yet, on the other hand, there's nothing better than to enjoy the good things as gifts of God in wisdom, recognizing what their enjoyment can be in terms of love of the good.